Fresh and Fit has a woman come on, and she starts talking. It's quite a monologue, you'll see. And the topic is toxic masculinity, which she believes is actually a thing. Okay, and Myron has some comments about it, but I think this is very significant. Listen to, I know you're gonna hear her exchange, and you're gonna want to be like, Jed, why did you make me suffer? Why don't you like me? Trust me, everything I do is with good reason. It's good for you, I'm telling you. So let's play it. 153:35.
And I feel like one of the things I feel really bad about men is like the huge pressure of toxic masculinity put on you guys, because you grow up and it's like you're not allowed to cry, you got to be strong, you got to be tough, you got to do this, you got to do that. And that's why I feel like a lot of men don't know how to properly communicate or express themselves, because society just pushes you down. And it's like if you had a little bit more like love and tenderness in you, you would be able to communicate your feelings better, and you would be able to love properly. And it just sucks that society really does put that on you guys. And I feel like me, like with my guy friends, with a guy that I'm dating, I really do try to have like those sit down talks with them, because a lot, men and women, a lot of people aren't over
$5 your way I rule.
Oh my gosh.
Got it added there. We'll get back to it.
problems. They just want to shove it down. They don't want to face their fears. They're not accepting what happened to them.
Play the music.
No, but it's serious. It's serious. In general, all of us, you need to accept what happened. You don't forget it. You need to accept it and learn from it and move on from it, so you don't affect another person the way that you've been affected. I feel like everybody likes to be on that hamster wheel, and that's fucked up. Well, especially for men, I feel so bad for guys.
Real quick, I just want to say one thing. I think toxic masculinity doesn't exist. I think it's a lie propagated by the left to try to go ahead and insult masculinity. And then number two.
Okay, wait, we got to pause. Wait, I have to pause. I have to just, first of all, I love when people in the manosphere say the left, because I feel like, yeah, you get it. You may not talk politics every day, but you know what's going on. That is 100% accurate. That's why I say toxic masculinity has been fabricated. He's right. By the left. And when he's talking about the left, by the way, well, let me not say what he's talking about. Let me say what I'm talking about. The left, by the way, is very large. It's not just politicians. It's modern feminism. It's big tech. It's all the big government. It's all of that, because I told you that the system needs men to be weak, because big government can't grow without weak men. You can't have things in place like lockdowns and restrictions and whatever, by the way, stage 2 of all that is going to be, because it's coming. Mark my words, I said it here. You can't do that stuff without weak men, because when you try to do stuff like that, it's the guys, the strong men, the alpha guys who know how to defend and protect themselves, who aren't afraid to be guys. Those are going to be the people in society that stand up and say, big government, I don't think so. I don't think so. You've gone too far. So they need those guys to be figuratively castrated yesterday. And one of the ways they do that is they make those men feel bad about everything that makes them strong and male, and they make them apologize for it and grovel at the feet of the modern age Gloria Steinems of the world, because they need them weak. So that is on the money, Myron. Okay. Second part is fascinating to me. Let's play the rest of Myron's commentary on this.
With women ever. I genuinely don't think that women are not equipped to, and this might be a controversial take, but I genuinely...
We all should be open with each other, though. That's how you create a better community.
I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. Women are not equipped to handle masculine problems. Men and women live different existences. There's a burden performance.
But that's why, like, men have those problems, and it's like...
But here's the thing. You're not equipped to deal with them. If I sit there and I cry to you,
I don't need to deal with it, but I hope that you could talk to me so that you could deal with it better. Or even talk to another guy about it. I feel like guys don't even talk to each other.
So what I say is, I tell guys all the time, women are not equipped to handle your problems, because men and women experience different realities.
But do you guys like actually sit down and talk to each other about it?
Can I finish? What I'm saying is that women are not equipped to handle male problems. So therefore, if you do have problems, you need to go and confide with men that share your experiences, that you can trust and you respect. You don't tell women your problems, because here's the problem. If you tell a girl that you like your problems, what you're doing is you're showing vulnerability. That vulnerability is going to be how do I say this? It's gonna make her lose attraction for you because women value security. If I'm supposed to be the leader, the rock in the relationship, right? The dominant guy, and then I sit there and I cry and I'm not sure where I'm going. Oh my God, I don't know what's going on. And I'm crying to you. Well, you're gonna start to doubt my leadership capabilities, and a byproduct of that is you're gonna lose attraction for me. Now, again, going back to what I was saying, you might say, no, really, I don't agree with that. The truth is, female arousal, no, you guys don't know what you're aroused by. So if I know, some girls might be able to tolerate, some girls can't. Why would I take that risk and open up Pandora's box and open up?
So this is actually a fascinating exchange. I would love to actually have this conversation with him. I think it's multi-tiered, it's multi-layered, it's fascinating. It's something that I've talked about in my house with my own husband, just because I think it's an incredible discussion. A couple of things. I do think there is a little bit of gray here. A lot of what he's saying is true. Okay, a lot of what he's saying is true. I do think that there is a distinction, and I don't know if Myron's made this distinction on his show. Maybe he has. It's very possible that because I haven't seen every episode, obviously. But there is a distinction between what you do as a man, I think, that's ideal when you're dating someone, when you just meet someone, and what you do when you're married to someone and you already have that life partner. And here's why it's a little bit different. When you get married to someone, and say you're married for 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, I don't know how long, you are going to go through things that are really serious. It's not just going to be financial stresses. People are going to die. I mean, you're going to have family members that die and pass away. There are going to be car accidents. There are going to be losses of pets. There's going to be big stuff is going to happen. People are going to lose careers. I mean, big, it's like this, right? Because life can be that way. Life can be incredibly challenging. I think there is a time and place for a man to show vulnerability, but I think that male vulnerability looks differently from female vulnerability. And what's happening now in society is that women want men to show feelings the way women show feelings or the way we recognize feelings, right? So we're tugging at guys all the time. Like, aren't you upset? Are you not showing your emotion because you were told by society not to show your emotion? We're going through something. Don't you want to cry about it? Don't you need to cry about it? And the reality is that oftentimes I think the answer is no. I need to cry about it, right? I'm a female. I show emotion differently. I handle problems differently. So something could happen in my house, right? And I can have a breakdown about it. And it's happened. Believe me. I don't apologize for my emotional side. I am a woman and I wear it proudly. So I will have a breakdown and I'll look at my husband and he's not having the breakdown. Number one, he's not having it because he's just not having it. That's not where his head goes. Now, his version of a breakdown as a man is, I need to problem solve this. Okay, so this is happening. And yeah, it's a little stressful and we're going to figure out how to get from point A to point D. So now I need to focus on, he becomes a problem solver in those moments. I need something different. And by the way, this is not better or worse. I'm not hating on women. I'm not hating on men. This is showing that men and women are different. When something happens, I need to talk about my feelings. I need to talk about how I feel about what's happening. It's important. It helps me to get a handle on what's happening. It relieves my anxiety about what's happening, and it makes me feel better. Even though it might not actually help us get to a solution, it's something that I need. I think a lot of women feel that way, and I think that's a lot of reason why they pick up the phone and they call their girlfriends sometimes, because that's an important part of how we deal with trauma or deal with calamity or deal with struggle, is that we need to talk about the emotional side of it. We assume then that guys also need to talk about the emotional side of it, or society has done something wrong, has silenced them, when in reality, a lot of times that's not what they need. They're not emotionally crumbling inside. They are strategizing. It's a different head. That's not to say they're not stressed. That's not to say they're not upset. That's not to say they're not having feelings, but what they don't need in that moment is to discuss the feelings. And in my house, it happens all the time. My husband will say, okay, you feel this way. I understand. Okay, what are we doing about it? He doesn't need to talk to me about the feelings. That's not where his head's at. So I think it's just oftentimes a basic acknowledgement that men and women are different. Now, what Myron's talking about also is the vulnerability. I think what he's saying is largely accurate, which is that I didn't choose my husband because when shit hits the fan, he cries and he shatters and he needs to talk about his emotional upheaval at that time, and he becomes fragile and he wants to sit and just discuss all of the emotional ups and downs of the experience. I didn't choose him for that reason. I chose him because he felt unshakable to me. He felt like I could try to rattle him. He wasn't getting rattled. And that was a beautiful thing, because I knew if I wasn't rattling him, not that I would try actively, but you know, women, you know how we are sometimes. Sometimes we can rattle. We can rattle someone. It's a beautiful thing when a guy doesn't get rattled. Maybe it drives us nuts for a second, but in the long run, we realize, oh, if he's not getting rattled by me, he's not going to get rattled by the world either. That is a sturdy man. It's very desirable. It is very desirable. That's not to say you can't be a human being. I don't think women want someone who has no feeling, no emotion, a robot. That is not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is you don't want a guy that's going to crumble. So I think there are moments where when guys are in that strategizing head and that problem-solving head and they want to talk about what's bugging them, maybe something financial is going on, right? And they're like, what do I make the best decision here? They don't need you to feel their angst about that. They want to be able to go talk to their guy friend about it, figure out the best solution, and be able to come back to you and say, I got this. And if there's a moment where they feel like they don't quite have it yet, they feel that it's their job to get to the point where they feel like they do have it and bring that to you. That's a very honorable, noble thing to do. If you want to watch the full episode, click right here. And if you want to ask me a question, talk one-on-one, send me a FaceTime video, join a video with a group of your friends and me, you got to download Connect and you got to join me there. It's going to be really hot.